Hello everyone, my name is Kraylin and welcome to my den. Today we set off on a misadventure to find out if Scythes are OP. Now technically there is no Scythe weapon group. There are a subsection of the Halberd group which I find slightly annoying. Anyways, we start off this misadventure by blowing the face off with a silent demon. I'm tired of breaking my knuckles on his belly. After which we dodge the boulder and meet up with Oscar. After stopping in at Firelink, I scramble my way down to the catacombs where I get my face blown off by Tom 1. Rethinking my strategy, I just push the lever and get running to my weapon of choice. That is after panicking and knocking a couple of skeletons off the cliff. Skipping back to New Londo, I grab a soul item, and then open the valley up to grab a couple of more souls. Unfortunately, I got overzealous with the Black Knight and got owned. Getting back up to prove a point, I finish him off and grab the grass crest shield. I say hello to Andre and then bully the Baronique Knight. Flowing down to grab the basement key and hand out a porcine prostate exam. I then activate the Drake and I try my hand at Capra, which goes well. Going back to the Berg to grab Special Dust and take out the Taurus demon, but first I take out his archers, grab his attention, lube up the scythe and plunge, which nearly one-shots him. Jumping back to Capra to get my revenge, but he's a slippery one and it takes me a few more times than I wanted, but I finally get him. Slipping into the depths to grab the large ember, I then spring back into the church to free Laurel Track, and then kick him off the ledge for the Fap ring. I then take on Havel for his ring, after which I bolt up to the garden for the wolf ring, someone else's armor, and then take on the butterfly, which would be faster if it landed more often, and when it does, it doesn't take me long to eliminate it. Going down to deal with the Hydra, which my hubris gets the better of me again, but I am too stubborn so I try once more. I then free Dusk and then bounce my way up to deal with Sif, which goes very, very quick, which makes me feel pretty decent because I don't like this fight. Then scramble my way up to the gargoyles, which completely blows me away with how fast they get shredded. I then ring the loud bell. I find Nominal and buy some extra special dust, and then take on the dragon. I manage to tickle his dingle once, but then get stampeded and barely escape. After taking a few pot shots, I cut off his tail, then I finish him off, thankfully without many more hiccups. Tumbling down into Blighttown, I eliminate the Chaos Bug and grab Power Within, which I never use. After charging through the swamp, I take out Mildred and start my fight off with Quelaag, which goes very well. I surprisingly did it in one try and 0 hits. The Scythe is surprisingly powerful at this point in the game. I then steal some clothes from Ceaseless and put him out of his misery. Wandering up a staircase, I pretend to be an egg for a few moments. I get it transported to the asylum, where I meet with Oscar to put him down. He does kick me more than once in the face, which is a big mistake on his part. I am not a foot guy. Then I grab the doll, and then drop in on the stray demon, weaving in and out of his magic explosions and staff slams. I build up the bleed meter and get at least 1 bleed proc. With a few more swings, he goes down. I find myself in sins and deal with the door guards. After that, I plunge down to take out one of the Titanite demons. Then a second one, and find the Bardiche, not Scythe. I then take out the gate guard, and the bomb thrower. I work up the courage to take on the iron golem, which the fear was for nothing since I managed to stun him and knock him off the bridge. I drop back down to New Londo to kill Ingrid and open the seal. Grabbing the very large ember, I fly my way back to Anor Londo to take on the third gargoyle of the game. I then make a couple of attempts at rafter racing, which go very poorly. After finally making it across, I open up the map and fight the last gargoyle of the game. I then approach and touch the painting of Canada. While in the painting, I grab my shirt, the blood shield for later, and deal with the undead dragon. I then boop the butt to skip to Priscilla. Speaking of her, I managed to cut off her tail in one hit, and for that, I get knocked around and bled. But in the end, I take the life hunt ability for myself. I make my jump out of Canada and cheese the cheese. Make a realization that I need to upgrade another halberd to make the life hunt scythe, which I put to immediate use on ONS, to varying degrees of success. Like, seriously, someone just gets obliterated by bleed and slashing weapons, 4.5 hits to take him out. And with Super Orn, it takes longer just because he's a bit jumpy and I kept missing due to his stance. Luckily, I finished him off on the first try. Meeting up with the princess, I get the power to teleport, after which I float down and signal for the end of the game. Speaking of the end game, I start off taking on the Fire Sage with his very low bleed resistance. Yeah, that doesn't take me very long to dispatch him. Up next is the Centipede, which takes slightly longer than I wanted because he keeps being a squirrely noodle. But after cutting off several of his limbs, he goes down like a sack of taters. Oh, I'm sorry. Starting in on the bed of chaos, I slide down and buck off to the left nodule, then taking a few attempts to the right one before destroying it. Making my way to the bug, I sadly end up running out of stamina and get yeeted. Stupid bug. Up to the archives to grab the pendant, eliminate the crystal general, meet Scythes and take a mandatory death, wake up in prison, I escape and light the Vorst bonfire, crank a lever, and make my way into the crystal caves to eliminate Scythes. Learning a bit from the katana run, I wait for him to break his own crystal. Unfortunately, in my haste to get to the boss, I left the clams alive and a few managed to get to the boss fight with me. Luckily, Scythes does take care of the clams, leaving me open to slash away at his tentacles, and in no time, Scythes goes down. To the catacombs! Hey, Tom 1, Tom 2, Tom 3, and 4. I stop long enough to remove an annoyance, also known as patches, grabbing the Seance Ring and killing Tom 5, and then hidden Tom 6. Having a spooky time before brutalizing Penwell. I think that was the fastest I've ever killed him. I port back to Anor Londo to take on Gwendolyn. By the way, his magic hurts like hell. Thankfully, I eliminate him in only a few rounds. Falling into the abyss, I attempt to take on the Four Kings, but my hubris once again gets the better of me. On the second attempt, things go much better. I drop the Life Hunt and Blood Shield for the standard Scythe and Grasscrest Shield, which gives me enough of an edge to finish the Kings. Speaking of Kings, I find my way to Nido, which does not go as well as I wish. Man, these rush recordings are getting to me. In the second round, I do more hit and run tactics and try not to get in over my head, which once again baffles me. Man, I hate this part. Jumping into the DLC, my first barricade is a Sanctuary Guardian, which goes surprisingly well. I just need him to sit still for longer points in time. Hello, Calamite, and now for Artorias. On the first attempt, I get super close to defeating him, but sadly he is super aggressive and powerful. Round 2 doesn't go any better. Round 3 was by far my worst attempt. In round 4, I take a cue from Gwendolyn and play cat and mouse. Mostly me being the mouse, while taking pot shots. And with enough patience, I managed to take him out. I then grab the silver pendant and crest key before taking on Manus, which goes about as well as it usually does the first round. I then get caught by his annoying as hell tantrum, ending round 2. Rolling a bit too early, he slaps my butt and finishes off round 3. Round 4 ends with a dark magic shotgun blast to my face, God, the crunch brain is real. Round 5 goes out in the same way as round 4. This time, I kinda just stood there. Finally, in round 6, I took the correct actions and blending defense and offensive beautifully, I defeat Manus. I meet Goth and have him shoot down Calamy, which after the slobber knocker of a fight with Manus, goes super easy. And with the final pin in my hubris set and primed, I attempt to take out the Twin Guardians. Yeah, let's skip that for this run. I open up the kiln and saunter my way to Gwyn. On the first attempt, I actually got him down pretty low, which is amazing considering I can't parry him. But I got absolutely blasted in the following rounds. It was late and I was trying to finish this run. Thankfully, I remembered my spear run and abused Gwyn's AI by hiding behind the pillars to heal and finding openings to finally finish off Gwyn. So in conclusion, in my opinion, yes, Scythes are OP. The bleed alone makes them so great against a myriad of bosses. I do believe with a better player behind the screen, Scythes can be one of the best weapons of the games. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this misadventure, please consider liking the video and possibly subbing as it helps me greatly. And with that, I will see you on the next one.